good. We're working. Hi guys! Don't judge me. It's literally 9 a.m. here. I am sort of half in my pyjamas. I've got my nightie on still. My hair's a disaster zone. I've still got an hour until my carer comes for the day, so don't judge me. I'm still tired. And I've only just, well, actually I've been up an hour, but I've been doing all the things, so my house is chaos. My dog, for anyone wondering, Jakey, is right there. You gonna say hi to our friends, Jakey? Or are you just gonna sleep? He might come and wander over. I have no idea. But he's comfy. He's not making a racket. So that's a good start to our day. Today I'm going to read a poem because I've been promising my friend, hi Nick, if you're watching, for months that I'd be doing this, and then because it's me and I've got ADHD I get really easily distracted and it just doesn't happen. So I'm going to be doing that. Now this is brand new. This poem is one that I wrote literally last night when I was watching a live stream by one of my favourite creators. She's called Sarah, or Young Dumb Honey Bun, on YouTube, and I love her because she's lovely, but she's also very, very much outspoken. She doesn't care what other people think. She reminds me to have confidence. She also, at the end of every single live stream, reminds me to take my meds, which is really helpful because on a Saturday night at 10 p.m. I do need to take them, and I tend to forget because I get distracted. Hooray for ADHD! Also, for those wondering, if you see the chain behind me, the pretty coloured one, that is me counting how many days I have been self-harm free for. So, currently we are on... Hang on, let me check my diary because I wrote it down. 960 days self-harm free, because I'm counting all the way up to 1,000. Not the best at maths, please ignore that if that's wrong, but I think it's 1,000 after 900. I'm not great with maths. I kind of just ignore it if I can. Right, so let's get into this before 1, we end up chatting for England and don't shut up, and 2, we get distracted really easily. Right, so this is it. So if I look like I'm looking that way, it's because it's on the floor. And please ignore my disastrous handwriting. I'm writing at stupid times at night because I don't seem to have a brain and think, oh, I'll write at 2 a.m. Right, so it doesn't have a name because it never has a name. I don't know why it doesn't have a name. I just didn't think of a title for it. But this is the start of it. Okay. When you look back on 2020 and 2021, what will you see? What will you remember? The shutdowns, the lockdowns, the tears and meltdowns, the pain. The sitting around, the lazy days, stupid comments by a government that just doesn't care. Or will you remember the community of humans that came together in strength, or the community that was there every week for the NHS, carers and key workers? When you look back on 2020 and 2021, what will you see? What will you remember? The weekly reminders from the Prime Minister of rules he doesn't want to follow himself, the yelling, screaming, arguing, shouting and anger and all the bad or scary emotions, or will you remember the smiles, the laughs, the courage and love every person had for one another, or the fact that every community for one time all found their voices for one another? When you look back on 2020 and 2021, what will you remember? What will you see? When you look back on 2020 and 2021, what will you see? What will you remember? When you look back on 2020 and 2021, what will you see? What will you remember? Where will your mind go? Now, I know it wasn't the longest, and it probably didn't make a lot of sense to some people. However, 1, it's the 31st of December here. 2, I kind of felt it necessary to the fact that, well, to me, my government's crap, because they just are crap to people like me on a daily basis. People with disabilities here don't really get a lot of support from the government, apart from, if you're lucky, monetary support. However, I wanted something else positive on top of it, because I wanted to be able to say, look, 2020, 2021, because of the obvious reasoning, the fact that it's just, well, I'm not going to say it, but the pandemic, it's been a little bit crappy, because people have been isolating, people have been shielding, like myself, because I'm clinically vulnerable. People have been not being able to go out of the houses. Like, it's been a bit shitty, not going to lie. But I wanted something to remind myself that actually there have been good in the world, like the NHS, carers, key workers, myself. I'm a key worker, I'm a support worker, so I did work throughout the pandemic, and I still am. Well, not work, I didn't work, I volunteered, there's a difference. And the courage, the strength, the community spirit that comes along with 2020 and 2021, like, I have seen some amazing crap go on this year. Not only for myself, but for other people around me. I mean, both my parents were social workers. I'm not entirely sure if they are anymore. But my daddy was a social worker for 30 years, 35 years. He's retired now because he's over 60, he's 70. So he had to retire, but he still has his friends checking on him every single time. He still has his friends come and see him. Like, it's beautiful. Especially since he was shielding too, because he was classed as clinically vulnerable like I am. My mummy works. I've got no idea what she does, but she works for Social Work England, I think. So she was working, but she still has the time to look after Daddy. She still has the time to come make sure me and Brindley, who's my sister, but that's a whole nother story, we're okay. Like, it's beautiful. The amount of community spirit that everyone shows for each other during this time is beautiful, and I really hope that it continues into 2022. That sounds really strange. Maybe not for the pandemic. Like, Jesus, if you're listening, please get rid of the pandemic. I don't like it. It's fucking terrifying. But, like, the community spirit, the hope, the faith, and the... Come on, brain. Oh my gosh, I got distracted. And the, what's the word? Like, I guess the advocation we had for each other. I want that to continue into 2022. Because that's the important thing here. The love, faith, hope, community, and advocation that everyone has for one another. I want that to continue, regardless of whether the pandemic continues or not. That's what I want. That's what I want to continue. And what I'm going to continue to bring into 2022, not just for myself, but for my support workers, for my parents, for my sister, for, like, my friends, is continuing to believe in them, continuing to try my best to be a better human every day. Like, even if I sound like a complete bitch one day, I'm going to still apologise. And I apologise right now if you can hear the dog, because he's barking at my washing machine. And I don't know why, because he should be used to it. Jakey! Shush. Shush. Right. I don't know how long this video was. I've got no idea how long it is going to be. I apologise for the wriggling. I'm sat on my beanbag. But I can hear my washing machine beeping, because I think it might be done. And my dog is currently looking at me like, why aren't we going out? So I am going to give my doggy a stroke. And I am going to leave you guys with my poem. I may come back and say hello for more and do more poems, but that depends on whether I can find my poetry book. So I will see you, and I will see you at some time soon, and Jakey will too. Say bye-bye, Jakey. He's a good boy. Bye, guys.